Hi guys, this is Ravesy45 and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV. And this time around, I'm decided to record the quest line for Final Fantasy XIV Ivalice raid content. So unlike the last one, I think I was going to record some commentary, but I quickly decided to skip all that. So maybe when I'm recording this, I'll probably edit my first or second attempt on the lighthouse raid, where you have to fight construct 8 with doing math. I'm doing some basic math here and there. Ugh. One thing for sure is I don't like math so much. As much as I had to learn that in school and whatnot, but no thank you if it's gonna be added to a game mechanic. Anywho, let us do the next the final storyline for the Ivalice quest line. The path of most resistance. Greetings and salutations, Artorias. I suppose you are wondering whether or not the good Geminis has finally determined where in the world our next adventure is to take us. The good news is he has. The bad news, however. Now, while it's not in my nature to be Sentimentalism is my job description, so bear with me when I tell you it is not all is right aboard the airship. Lexatel. Something about Alma has me deeply worried. I would not trust his information in the hand of my publisher, let alone some Sultan gate guard. Shall we continue our conversation on the Prima Vista, away from inquisitive ears? Okay, back to the Prima Vista. One thing for sure, I learned a lot of good, well, my vocabulary is being expansive when I play 14, especially with some things I do not know or pronounce, so bear with me on that part. Let me go to the shop pot. Yes, please. Hi Ramza, are you still being a dick to the Mughals? The question is then, where exactly did Ramza and his fellowship journey next? Ah, Artorias, to what we owe our unexpected visit. I have not planned on summoning you for another stellar turn of the sun. He's like, excuse me? I apologize if we have caused you any worry. I suppose one cannot allow a reporter in their mindset and not expect her to report what she sees. Though I did expect a tad more discretion from Miss Muriel. Let me just move my mic to the other side because this PS3 of mine is making a lot more sound than it used to be. Oh, not PS3, PS4. Alm has, of late, has been experiencing difficulties with her health. Chirigons had been called upon to discern what exactly ails her, but as far as I can tell, there's nothing physically wrong with my sister. The consensus is the rigor of an extended stay in a foreign land have taken their toll on her fragile heart. It appears she's okay so far, but I think she needs some rest, to be honest. Artorias, when did you... Amma! I'm fine, brother. It's obvious you are not. You must return to your chambers and rest. Forgive me, perhaps we speak once again. Forgive me, perhaps we shall speak again once I regain my strength. Until then, please, look after my father. Sure thing. At least get some rest. You don't look so good. Now then, where are we? Ah, yes, the matter of our next destination, or expedition. As we discovered during our most recent foray into the Ether Sand, the dominant capital of Ravenaster appears to lie upon the ruins of what can only be the royal city of Nicilia, ancient capital of the lost kingdom of Ivalice. Shortly after, we stumble across remnants of a legendary clockwork city of Gong, clearly repurposed into a lighthouse overlooking the Ridonoria cataract, remnant of which it sits suspended upon the fathomless chasm. Ninsa, Gorg, what have they in common, you ask? I shall tell you. They both appear in my ancestors' account of the rise of the Ivalice, the Durai papers. I should know this since I played Final Fantasy Tactics. And with each new discovery, this forbidden chronicle is now proving Ivalice legend to be more fact than a fairy tale. There's no divine proof that, and it's a matter of time before scholars and historians from all across the realm come to the same conclusion. But as you are aware, my aim has never been simply to prove the existence of Ivalice. No, I shall not rest till I have revealed the truth of young Ramza's role in King Delita's ascension, and clear my ancestor on Durai of the false accusation made against him by the church. Oran Durai. Then what should we be waiting for? Should we not see Alm first? Kugane Cheerguns would have believed she is no immediate danger, as her illness is not one of the body but of the mind. To borrow their words, her spirit is in a state of unbalance and merely requires time to right itself. Alm will be fine as long as she remains in bed. The last thing she needs is any further excitement, especially at the paws of these meddlesome Mobats. And there goes Ramza making fun of the Mughals again. Though I must admit, both Black and his brother have proven more useful than I would ever have dared to imagine. When it comes to usefulness, I am the first in the field, or was it the furious in the field? Would you like to feel my fur, Kupo? Oh, let me say this again. Kupo! And you wonder why Ramza despises you so, brother. They do all the work, and all you do is just jest. Kupo? Ah, but you must be mistaken. Hardly I bear neither you or your brother any ill will. Any for ill will, that is. If anything, I owe you my thanks for your recent contribution. She's like, something's not right here. His tanks? Are you hearing what I'm hearing? What happened to the venomous spitting ender we all used to know and hate? Al certainly seems pleased with the change, but forgive me for not buying into his all too convincing transformation. A convenient transformation. Yeah, ever since that last raid, he has been a different person. As if someone possessed him. Simply showing the world that Ivalice actually existed will not validate the claims chronicled in the derived papers. This is correct, Father. The key lies with Ramza Belu. If you can find evidence of his hidden role in history, it will prove Oran's testimony true and safeguarded our family name from ridicule. Again. This is correct, Father. The key lies with Ramza Belu. If you can find evidence of his hidden role in history, it will prove Oran's testimony true and safeguard our family's name from ridicule. Which is why I turned the focus of my research to Delita's forgotten companion and his actions during the War of the Lions. It is only then I discovered something most intriguing, an undefined struggle with an unknown force, a force with the power to bring about calamitous ruin. Our sight, the twisted abomination we encounter in both Limsa, Lycia, and Gaul, the Dukavi. They are born from these unholy crystals. While nose of the north and south scowled over Ivalice's crown, Ramza slightly sought to rid the world of a darker evil. Evil manifests from the deepest desires of men and women whose minds have fallen prey to the outer sight. And which each confrontation did Ramza's fellowship grow smaller. Countless companions lost to the cause that would go unwritten, yet was far more important than any clash of armies, and so did they endure, until reaching their final destination, the Orban Monastery. Oh, I know this one. The Orban Monastery is where Prince Olivia was raised. There's a scene about it in the Zodiac Brave Story. After Lita emerged victorious in his final campaign, he married the princess and legitimized his claim to the throne of Ivalice. Ah, I see you have been paying attention. But I don't understand. Why would Ramza crusade against the Lukavi taking back there? According to derived papers, the sinister being who emerged engraved the Lukavi, the Arsite, who said to have slumbered beneath the monastery. But who, or what, have been means to create something so powerful? Ultima, the High Seraph. A seraph? What's a seraph? Seraphs are believed by some to be servants of the gods, divine beings whose only purpose is to carry out the will of their immortal master. As to whether or not Ultima claimed to be this title, however, I cannot say. Just as there who are choose to worship Ultima as their otherworldly might, just as there were those who claimed to worship Ultima and her otherworldly, might there be equally as many who feared the visitor and her deadly magic, often referring her as the Angel of Blood, for the carnage left in her wake. Interesting. What if the spell Ortreus claims to experience in the Pentarium, constitutionally also called Ultima, was in fact a Garlean interpretation of the very magic introduced to Harlan by the High Seraph? But that would mean I have spoken with several colleagues back in Solarian regarding their opinion of the ancient incantation, and while they yet have little show for the research, they all agree one thing: the manner in which ulterior manifest would not be possible, at least on Highland. So it would naturally make sense if we discovered that the Elegans learned the spell from a being not from this dimensional plane. As to exactly how they convinced the being to impact that knowledge into them? Not of this plane. What manner of creature are we talking about here? Likely one similar to Omega. Hi Sid, how you been? How long have you been listening to our shadow, my friend? How long have you been listening from the shadow, my friend? Long enough. I'm here to deliver the item Mikoto requested. Sid, there's no need for you to deliver it personally. A Mogul would have sufficed. A Mogul? And trust that he won't tear it open, the package, and show it to some random adventurer? No, this was too far. No, was far too important. If you two don't mind, the principal was to, if you don't mind, the principal was about to tell us how to find the Oban Monastery. Would that I could. You don't know? Then what was we been doing here? You don't know? Then what have we been doing here? At ease, Lady Melrat. The dry papers speak of a catalyst sustained on the river I just call it river. I don't know how to pronounce the name. I'm going to butcher that for Kingdom Come. Several leagues southeast of Ravenaster. There supposedly lies a monastery. Zetio. It's not the name you find on any modern Damascus map, River. However, especially one as large as the Zetio. Zetio is not the name you'll find in any modern Damascus map, River. However, especially one as large as the Zetio is established to be are rare in a nation more than half claimed by the sand. Where we seek can only be which beset the more on the Naxian border. Nagisian border. And for that invaluable information, we owe you thanks to your brothers Mughal. Their travels have made them versatile authorities on Damascus geography. Wait, but earlier you claimed you didn't know the monastery whereabouts. I'm confused. Its location is not what concerns me, but the Mughals themselves should explain. Why certainly, the variant Valley of Vines and Vipers, to where we must voice next, is home of the bear, and there lies our little problem. The one thing the bear do not suffer is trespassers, not even lovable Mughals. Kupo? No. Kupo? Our glamours kept us hidden long enough to see the jungle was teeming with ruins, much like we discovered. in Linsa and Gore. But the bear trackers eventually found us and took us before their elder. We barely escaped for our lives, our palms. Kaboom! So that is why we are still hearing. Nah. So that is why we're still. So that is why we're still here talking instead of bounding for the border. We're bound for the border. The bear who have sprung the strict code of their tribes, abandoning their people to come to live in the city of Damaska. Finding one and recruiting one to our cause might prove us with some insight on how to reach Obon Monastery ruins. Unfortunately, the nation's current turmoil has not made it easy to accomplish this task. We still require more time. Before boarding the shuttle here, I was stopped by a Baganga on the docks. He asked me if he knew a notorious Pendragon and bid I deliver her a message. I told him he was welcome to accompany me to the Prima Vista so that he can deliver the message himself, but the man refused. Alright, what's the message? Mikoto, I saw this device crafted to your specification, but I cannot guarantee that it will function as intended, seeing as I had a subject to test it on. Of course, Master Sid, if you have any troubles is met. Of course, Master Sid, if any trouble is met, then most likely it will be my design that is to blame. Your confidence in my craftsmanship is flattering, but you sell yourself too short, my dear. Here's to your success. Good day. Well, see ya, Sid. Alright, so we need to speak with Mikoto. Where is she? Oh, it's right behind me. Oh no, she's right over here. Okay. I sense you're interested in the package Sid delivered. Have every intention to apprise you on its contents, but first, I believe we should speak of Alm's condition. Do you find her illness all too timely? Genovis and Ramza would like to believe that her bouts of vertigo might not but result of a mind fatigue. But the answer is clear. It is the parasites that plague her. Alm's recent confided in me that she would hear her father speaking with the Otus. Well, before even his first foray into Evermaster. However, I do not think this is entirely true. Which is not to imply that Alma is trying to deceive us. Rather, I think she saw something that led her to believe her father was conversing with the Arasite. Moreover, I suspect it was the Arasite itself that granted her this vision. You may recall my hypothesis on the distant frequency NRR type harmonic vibrations and their tendencies to promote ethereal amplifications. Or when I mentioned that despite being in the principal possession of an external period, the Otus extricated none of this imprinting presented in the Dumal. No. The Otus has never resonated with Genomis. It's always been his wife's pendant and the Arasite shard, the Virgo. that fueled his passion for Ivalice? No. The Otis is bound to Alma's deepest desires, whether those may be. The only reason I can found that has not fallen victim to Aurosite grasp is that her desires are not as strong as those have witnessed in Argat or Begaman. That and the arterial interference caused by other nearby shards. I explained all this to and recommended that she destroy the necklace, yet not only she did refuse, but she begged me to keep this revelation from her father. And so I did the only thing I could. I devised a means to which might improve or at least lessen the effects of the Otus. This device, while still incomplete, will amplify the NNR wavelength emitted by the Virgo. This would work to interfere with those emitted by the Otus, thereby shielding from the blunt of their effects. The city below is in a buzz, the word of Garlean brigade lowering about the airship landing. Do you think it could be someone we know? Troupe? Alright, so I have to go back downward. Or I can talk to someone here. Oh, hi. Making bacon? I don't think this is part of the main story quest, so I probably won't voice this one. Or, you know, fuck it.